Okay, so Nashville's mayor wants to ban electric scooters because a man died riding one. What you need to take away from this
Well, they
is
should ban cars because one time
right.
a guy died in his car.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is exactly what happened. And so what happened was late last month, a 26-year-old died after being struck by a vehicle while riding a bird scooter. Police said that he made an improper turn onto the road from the sidewalk at around 10 p.m. when he was hit by a Nissan Pathfinder. Police later concluded that he was operating a bird scooter in a reckless manner while under the influence of alcohol. Therefore, no charges have been filed against the Nissan Pathfinder driver. Now, if this person had been on a bicycle, they wouldn't be banning bicycles. If he had been on a motorcycle and pulled in front of a moving vehicle, they wouldn't ban motorcycles.
If he was walking.
Yeah, you wouldn't ban pedestrians.
Bad walking.
I mean, and we've talked about the scooters before. They have these little bitty tiny wheels, and if you hit a crack in the sidewalk that's a little too large, it'll throw you off of them. I mean, these things are dangerous to ride, and they tell you to wear a helmet, but no one does. And you know, the city has received complaints. People want these things thrown out, but it's not because people just leave them laying on the sidewalk. It's not because it's an eyesore around the city. Now they're calling for it because one person did something reckless while drunk. And I hate to pick on someone who lost his life, but you have to look at the entire situation and make an educated decision. And if this is the only reason Nashville is looking to ban the scooters, I am sorry, but I don't see this as a valid reason.
So I don't think it's the reason. I think it is the trigger for all the other reasons that you mentioned, right? I mean, they are eyesores and they're dangerous. I mean, whether you die on them or not, the number of injuries associated with these scooters across the country are huge. And I think we mentioned it before. I think California is the only state that mandates they have to have a helmet when they rent one of these things. So, you know, I don't know. I'm really kind of torn on it too. I don't like the idea of just banning things because, like you say, you could be on a bicycle and do the same thing. But dang, these have become really, really pervasive. They're super easy for just any old drunk to walk out of a bar and jump on. You know, if you intentionally rode your bike, you probably are planning on, you know, staying sober enough to ride your bike home afterward, maybe even brought a helmet. Whereas these are just, let's get away. And then you show off with your friends. And I don't know. I definitely am torn here because I think they really are exceptionally dangerous.
But they're fun when you're not drunk. Like they're amusing to take for a spin if you have your mind about you.
Well, I will say that I do a little engineering change, like put 10-inch wheels on them.
Yeah, 10-inch pneumatic wheels. Yeah, I will say that I've seen several people get pulled over for drunk driving on bicycles in downtown Charleston and downtown Gainesville, Florida.
Seen it. I've heard of it too.
But are the helmets okay, in California you require a helmet, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how many people are actually using a helmet in California?
3%.
Because no one's stopping you from walking up to one of them, scanning it with your phone, hopping on it, and driving away.
Right.
I get you have to.
You probably have to click. I clicked. Yes, I'm wearing a helmet.
I'm wearing a helmet, and then the police have to stop you while you are doing it and ticket you, kind of like a seatbelt law.
Yeah.
It's my other point, Evan. Back to you. So I think it's a preferable way to kill yourself if you're going to kill yourself. I'm less worried about drunk people on scooters than I am drunk people in motor vehicles. Second point, these are brand new. And part of the problem that Tony and the mayor of Nashville is worried about is there's not a lot of, in some cases, no existing regulation. And there should be, so that these things are rolled out more responsibly, that they're marketed more responsibly. And most people have never ridden them before. So everybody's on it. It's like a newbie. Mm-hmm. Okay. In a few years, we as a society will become more savvy with these things, more experienced, and there will be less injuries. Now,
It's like pedestrians are more adept at texting while walking now than they were 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
So then they'll be texting while scootering.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, this is, but we have a tendency, in my opinion, in the United States, to blame anybody but the person behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. If a pedestrian gets hit by a car, oh, he was looking at his phone. It's his fault. We don't talk about people in cars looking at phones. We talk about irresponsible pedestrians. There's a thing going on in New York right now about citing people for carrying phones and walking in crosswalks. It's like, we're always blaming other people. Bicyclists are reckless and they're crazy and they got in the way. And it's like never the fault of the motor vehicle. When someone dies, it's an accident if a car hits them. If somebody dies on something else, it's their fault. And I don't think I get why that narrative exists, but I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's accurate.
Yeah.
Well, David in the chat room has the solution.
Uh-oh.
Autopilot for scooters.
Well, then you could add summons to the scooter. So when you're like leaving the bar, you say, "Scooter, come to me." Drive me home.
25 scooters all coming.
I mean, pick me up and drive me home.
In the short time that these things have been out in the public, we've already seen a huge evolution, from from docked bikes to dockless bikes to e-bikes to scooters. And now we're seeing, when I was in LA at the Peterson Auto Museum a couple of weeks back, there are these little sit-down scooters all over the place. And I think we're going to see
Walmart.
I'm sorry?
That was Walmart.
I think we'll see more evolution of the vehicles too. They'll get safer, they'll get better.
So are we gonna have like dedicated scooter lanes?
We should have. Don't get me started on that.
Because like they're on the sidewalks and like
Right.
I think that's part of my whole angst about the things is that, and maybe it's just a regulatory, we need time to figure it all out kind of thing right now. But there's so much like weird and strange and dangerous and crazy about it right now. So, like I said, I'm torn. I'm not somebody that likes to say, "Oh, those should all be banned." But right now, it is the Wild West with those freaking things, and any kid can jump on them. And like you say, no training. And
I think you have to be 18 here.
Again, you just like you have to wear a helmet there, right?
Oh, I understand. But I mean, there's some, and I totally think we have been car centric for so long that we need to look at the way we lay out our roads. We need to make them safer for pedestrians, for bicyclists, and for scooters. And cars are going to have to give up a little bit. And I know that's going to piss off a lot of people, but that's the way it is. These devices, and go figure, pedestrians are good for us. They're better for us. They give us options that don't mean we have to make everything car centric.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the article we did about a month or 2 months ago? The city of Seattle created dedicated bike lanes, not just painted bike lanes, but it was physically separated with planters and things. And when they created a separate protected bike lane, they saw bike ridership go up 40% for that area. So yes, scooter lanes, I think, would be fine because you wouldn't have somebody jumping off a sidewalk into traffic. They would have a lane.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want them sharing it with the bicycle because that would cause collisions.
So,
but if they're all going in the same direction, or if it's separated left, right, but I mean that's a whole nother discussion.
Hockey Day in the chat says we need tunnels for scooters. We'll get the boring company.
That's what we do.
The boring company tunnel underneath every street for scooters, and if that would work, I'd support it 100%.
That would be the machine they use for the ventilation tunnels.
Mhm.
Just make it for human size.
Yeah.
I would love to get that to get bicycles and scooters off of car roads.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic, but obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it takes is money.